Hello ladies, today's lesson is on concealer. So with concealer, you want to pick a shade that is 1 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation if you're using it to conceal under your eyes. And if you're using it to conceal blemishes, you want to pick a shade that is exactly the same as your foundation or as close as you can possibly get. So I'm going to start with under my eyes, and for that I'm going to use Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer by Younique in the shade Scarlet. This concealer is super thick and creamy, so to make it more workable, I like to put it on the back of my hand. The warmth of my skin is going to warm that concealer up and make it an easier consistency to work with. For applying it, I like to use this concealer brush from Smart Sense. You can get it at Kmart for those of you who are interested. And I just take a little bit of it and put it in a V shape under my eye. Okay, the importance of a V shape. Most people put the concealer right on the dark circle, and that's the only place they put it. That's going to draw attention to that area of your eye. If you draw it down and out, it's going to draw the attention away from that dark circle, which is what we want, right? So that is tip number 1 with concealer for under your eyes. Put it in a V or triangle shape and draw it out and away from that dark circle. Okay, what I found that blends out concealer the best is the Beauty Blender. So get it soaked and then squeeze all the excess water out so that it's damp. And then just use stippling motions to blend it in. And if you're having trouble getting it right up under your eye, look up. That's gonna make it so that you can get that Beauty Blender right up there, and you're not going to be blinking and you know, it's not going to be in your line of vision as much. See how quickly that blended out and how beautiful that is? Oh, by the way, this Beauty Blender I'm using is from EcoTools, for those of you who might be curious. I love EcoTools. So far, every tool I've used of theirs, whether it be a brush or this Beauty Blender, I've loved it. They have good stuff. Okay, so now, the first video in our class series, I talked about, or second video, I should say, I talked about setting powder. This is one of those times that you really, really should be using the setting powder. Because your under eye area, there's a lot of movement, creasing, wrinkles. If you don't use a setting powder, and I'm going to be using Touch Behold setting powder, and then this powder brush from Smart Sense. Okay, it doesn't take a lot, just take a little bit and set that concealer so it doesn't move. And it doesn't crease. All right, now we're going to move on to blemishes. Like I said, you want to pick a shade of concealer, and look at that. I know I'm getting off topic, but I didn't even use all that concealer I put on. I barely put any on for under my eyes. Okay, so for my blemishes, I'm going to be using the shade Organza. It's still this Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. So I'm just going to put a little on the back of my hand like I did. And I'm going to use that same brush from Smart Sense, and I'm going to use that to apply it to my blemishes. And a little bit of this goes a long way. It's very thick and creamy. So you just spot correct your blemishes, and then you go back in with your Beauty Blender once you're done applying to the spots, and blend it out. For this step, it's very important to do, even if you don't use a Beauty Blender, you can use your finger as well, but to use patting motions rather than swiping or rubbing, because it's going to rub it right off that blemish if you rub it all. You can go back in with a setting powder if you so choose. I like to do that. and then just dust it over those areas that you applied concealer to help it stay put. Because that's one thing I've noticed with blemishes. Whatever product you put on them, it seems to move faster away from that than any other area of your face. It's like the zit is just pushing that product off. So that's why I like to use a setting powder over it, just to help keep the coverage on there. All right, there you go. Those are my tips and tricks for concealer. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.